Well, I've been out here since 4 this morning. It's about 5. Just doing a little moving things around and cleaning up because I picked up some of the insulation. Couldn't fit it all in my truck because I also picked up the foam board. I got 10 sheets of that. I will be needing more. This is 3/4 inch foam board for the ceiling and up in other spaces there. So I started insulation last night. Got 6 pieces hung. We're going to skip this part and we're going to start fresh here this morning because I got a really good run there. That won't take me long. But yeah, I got cats running around already. Look at them. There's a Telly and her little daughter. Hey. I can see I already got to pick that up. You do not tear that up. You two are delinquents. I'm telling you. No. Now I got to stop what I'm doing and go put that in the truck because otherwise I'll be picking up 50 pieces. That's how my day goes. You get something started and you hear a ruckus. And then you look out there and there's Tilly and Dolly. They're always in the middle of it. Anyway, man, this place lights up like a Christmas tree outside and I don't have all the lights on. I just got 2 on. It's all I need, man. But anyway, we're going to start here, do a nice run there. I think I'm going to need at least 5 more packs of these. These have 11 pieces in them, and they're already cut to fit. Makes it a whole lot easier. But one thing, when I see somebody on YouTube doing insulation, I scream more than anybody. Because most of the time, they're sticking it up there and they're smashing it in and they're stapling these to the inside, which I guess you could do. Don't know why you'd want to. This is the way you properly do it. You overlap the flaps, make it nice. You don't smash this in. That's what, you know, when you don't smash it in, you get a better R value. I mean, you're not supposed to smash it in. I never did insulation for a living, but I had a friend who had an insulation company and I helped him out probably 3 or 4 months. I learned how to do this properly. And you just want it to look nice, you know? Yeah, you ain't gonna see it. But any job you do the best you can, okay? Even if it's insulation, something nobody's ever gonna see. You know, 50 years from now, somebody's pulling off the walls and they're looking at that and they're going, bam. They sure knew how to insulate back in them days. They did. So just do the best you can. Now, I will, when I get to about in here, I will demonstrate how I do it. It's not hard. It doesn't take any longer to do it right than it does to do it wrong. And what else? Let me update you. Yesterday was a supply run, so I didn't get a lot done. I mean, half the day. Look at here, we got a Dolly. She's been coming in. And she sees there's lots of bugs in here because the light attracts them. Anyway, it's a supply run. Let me tell you something about going into Lowe's or Home Depot. What a pain in the ass. My God, when you get big stuff like this, I knew I needed other small things, plugs, outlet stuff. So I went in there and bought those first because there is no cart that you can put all that crap on. So I went and bought the small things, took them out to the truck. Took me forever to find a cart because all the employees had the carts taken up doing stocking, whatever it was they were doing. So I finally got a cart. I got the foam board first, okay? There's really no good cart for that. It has to lay flat. And the aisles in Lowe's is so narrow. I knocked over a big thing of buckets. Oh, it was a pain. I was mad. And then that was another trip. Put that in the truck. It was windy. Foam board and wind don't mix. So, of course, you don't get any help anymore these days. So I finally got that in my truck. I was smart enough to bring some sandbags, put them on top, went back in, loaded this stuff up on another cart. And that was all I could fit in my truck. So I imagine I could have stacked some more on top, but I didn't want to deal with that. I got to go back several times anyway, so what's the point? So anyway, I had to go get that. The fans did come in. It is a louvered exhaust fan. I can't. So this is going to go, see, that's pretty nice. This is going to go, I think I'm just going to put one right there in the center. That's all I'm going to put for now. That way, you know, I'm sure that's going to be dead in 2 or 3 years. I would even give it more than that. That way I'll have a second one to replace it with, because products today change so fast I probably won't be able to, then I'll have a big hole cut in my shed and nothing to replace it with, or I'll have to do a major repair. This way I got a backup, but if that doesn't work good enough, then I'll put the second one in and order more. Where are you going, Dolly? Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna actually have to feed these guys first, but I'm hoping to get this whole wall knocked out today. I did add one more outlet. This was probably where a refrigerator will go or something, I don't know. There was just no outlet from, actually I added that one and that one. There was no outlet from there on, and of course, you know, if you do that, what is making that noise over here? That's Dolly. She's messing with the wiring on the outside. So, and I'm gonna drag this damn thing out of here today. It's in my way. I want it out of here. And then we can knock this room out maybe, because it's ready to go. I got that's all the wire I got left, and I'll be using that for pigtails for all the outlets. So I do got more in the shed if I need it. But everything is wired. Well, I got to wire up these GFCI outlets for the outside. I got one for there, and I got one for there. Here she is again. You're just all over the place. Yes, you're the shop kitty. I need you to inspect for mice and snakes and lizards and such. And if you've come across a turtle named Harry, well, he's been around here for at least 10 years, and he comes to visit me once in a while on his way to the Great Turtle Convention. You know, we don't know where it is, but they all cross roads to get there. Let's get busy. This one. She's attacking everything that moves and everything that doesn't move. She's just making her rounds. Oh. Don't go in there, you'll be itchy. There we go. Got to attack the sweepings pile. I need to sweep that room. All right, if you get one of these sheds, let me show you guys something. You're going to have to put some nailers sometimes in these corners, which means if you're putting up sheetrock or something, there's nothing here in the corner that's you're gonna be able to nail into, so that corner is never going to be sturdy. So what I've done, let me go show you where I've remedied that. That one's going to be tough because I have a wire there. Yeah, it's probably going to get a little dark. Let me turn this light on. I forgot I have lights. So what I've done over here and here, you know, you don't have to have it all the way down, but I've attached a couple of these in each corner. So we're good here now, we're good here, and good on this end. It's going to require one there, because this room's probably going to be sheetrock. So this one, when they built this wall, they did it properly. They left about a ½ an inch, so shouldn't have to do one there or there. They knew what they were doing there, but I don't know. But these sheds will come like that. My other one did, and that's what you got to do. But as long as you got part of it, because I'm only going to be able to put one here, that's fine. That's, you know, nobody's really going to get up top and be pushing on that. This will probably most likely be pegboard anyway. The whole walls will probably be pegboard. Yeah, painted black, because if you keep them white, if you paint them white, it's going to mess with your eyes. So you got to paint them a dark color. You've seen that in my shed. So, all right, what I'm doing is I'm taking the full ones, all the full ones, and I'm going to start on them. That one's an almost full one, so we should be able to get a piece in there maybe. And I'm going to start putting these in, and I've been skipping these, you know, when I get done, then that's when I can start cutting the ones to fit properly, like this one. like maybe this and this make one. This is actually the better way to go, because I looked at the rolls. The rolls of this that you have to cut were 40 square feet. So these, you get 11 pieces, and it's 106.56 square foot. So I would have to buy 3 rolls just to get that 106. They're $25 a roll, so that you're looking at $75. This was $63 for a big pack. Plus, these are so much easier. You don't have to cut nothing. They're already cut to 8-foot sections, and you know they're so easy, much easier to deal with. And believe me, there's a lot in that package. So let's get started. And when I get to maybe past that outlet, I'll stop and I'll do a step-by-step the way I do it. I mean, you know, a lot of you already know this stuff, but there are a lot of people doing this DIY that have never done insulation. And so I'll show you how I do it. May not be the perfect way, the correct way, but it'll come out like this, okay? And if you look down this, when you lay your wall on here, it's gonna sit real nice, okay? I didn't smash anything in. All right, let's just get going. And I'll put you on time lapse. It's starting to get, I gotta get this out of here because it's in my way. And this lumber is moved 3 times now. This is gonna be the workbench or the nailers, whatever I need. And then maybe today we'll get to the fan. I just bounce around, man. I get bored with something, and then I'll move to something else. Also, what I did here, here's what we can do. I'll show you this. I bought these, I got these plugs yesterday because when I had bought them the other day when I went to Home Depot, and I don't know what the hell this is, some kind of English plug or something. Man, this ain't England. Got one of them deals going that way, one going that way. Those don't work. So what I'm gonna do here, I've made this little cord here. I'll be able to plug this into the Jackery, and I can test all of my lines with this. I'll just use wire nuts and screw this wire on here. I can go around with my tester, make sure all my outlets are good. That way when I go to hook up my power, I know everything is good, and I can fix it now before I do that, and I won't have any worries. So if we get to that, I'll show you how I do that. Never done it before, but in theory, I believe it'll work. All right, I got the cats fed, and I had to wait on my pants to dry because I don't want to do insulation in shorts. Itchy. Let's go. Okay, let me try to demonstrate this. I don't know how it's going to pick up. I don't really know a good place to put it. All right, this is what they look like when they come out of the package. I just give it a snap. Now, you really putting this stuff in, you don't really get a lot on you, so I don't really mask up or nothing. Probably should, but yeah, I'm in the picture. All right, when I start it, make sure I have my stapler. This has a nice flat top, so I grab it on the flaps, kind of hold it up, get it all the way to the top, make sure that's in there, and then I pull up almost to the top of that 2x4. Once I get it there, go ahead and run. Don't be afraid to use a lot of staples. Buy a bunch. All right, once that's in place, then I'll come down, put a few up here. All right, now, here's the important part. Then all you really got to do is take your hands. You might want to wear gloves. I got so many calluses, they ain't gonna bother me. And you just slightly push it in. Just like that. The section that you're doing, you want to make sure your flaps are out. Sometimes you have to unfold these. And then I just run my hand. You don't want a ridge here where a lot of this insulation is over that, because when you go to put your sheetrock on, you're going to have a big lump there. So just kind of run your hand like this, and I kind of pull down, and you want the flaps to cover the flap of the other. The whole idea is to keep everything enclosed. You know, if you're just shoving it in there, you're going to have cool air or whatever escaping there. So this is what these flaps are for. You're covering it like this. Very simple. I don't know how, I guess a lot of people just have never done insulation, and they just assume you just shove it in there, and you know, there's not a lot to it. And then you just do the same down here. Now, when you get to the bottom, I kind of pull up on this paper a little bit. I don't know if you can see the bottom. And then I lift this up, make sure the fiberglass is in there, okay? And then we're going to come down, make sure this is pulled tight. You don't have to pull it super tight. And then I'll get this down here. Invest in one of these air staplers. You will say, especially if you're older, man, I got carpal tunnel. There's no way I could do all this in one setting with that. So once your bottom is, make sure your bottom's in there, and then I kind of fold this up about 2 inches, pull down a little, and staple that bottom in. You don't want to leave the bottom unstapled. And that's it, man. Nice, neat, and buy a lot of staples. Use a bunch of, you got one of these, you can use all the staples you want. And if you have to pull these off to fix anything behind the wall, you can always staple them back. Just do it carefully. But this is nice and fluffy in there. Any wall that I put down is going to compress that. It's going to be great. It's going to be great, man. And then outlets, so you get to an outlet, you just get you a utility knife like I have. And you staple all this part, you get to there and you see where it is, and you don't have to be perfect with it. Just cut you a spot out. Be careful not to cut your wire. That will screw you when you go to turn your power on if you've cut your wire. But just be careful and just, you know, put it around it. Simple. All right, let me get this finished. All right, this is where I bust off of this task, because this up and down stuff, just the part of getting on my knees. If I was to continue this, it's going to wreck me for the day. So we got this much done. Man, I can already feel the difference in here. The echo is pretty much gone, at least in this spot, because, you know, we got that. Just think, wait till I get that up. So let's break off. Let's see about getting this fan installed and getting it hooked up, and because it's going to be over 100 today, so it'll be a good day to test it. But hey, we're getting there, and you know, just going to be a basic plain shop, right? I'm not going to do anything fancy in here, but you guys know how I do things. It's going to be, well, you'll just have to follow along and see. Yeah, man, we're getting that insulation. Got the outlets all showing real nice. Yeah. Probably going to do this wall last, because all of this is going on. See, you got all this going on up here, all of this. So that's going to be the last wall to be insulated. But I can continue around. Man, I'm telling you, the way it's going, I may have enough. I may have enough. So, all right. So, yes. Pretty much going to center that fan, I think, right up there, which is perfect because the ceiling will be there, so it needs to be below that. that little part up above, it'll vent itself out. I can put a bigger vent in that, but this is going to do the work down here. All right, let me look at this thing and see what we got to do. All right, looking at this, we got 2 inches there, and so if I frame this just like that 2x4 is, that gives me an 1.5 inches. And then you probably, I don't know how thick this wall is, probably another at least 1/2 inch, 5/8. That's probably 1/2 inch. So that puts us at 2. So this should be pretty flush. But I see the top here is slightly slanted down, so it can get wet. And it's not going to have any water coming in. This has got rubber under here. So I basically need to measure what my square is and mark it out up there, cut it out, get it centered, cut it out, and we can just slap that in. I'll probably put some silicone around this before I put it in. We don't want any leaks, but it should be fine. Now let's get going on it. And I don't know how good I can film this where you can see. These are my laser engraving boards I use, and they're 12x12. So what I'm going to do is use this as a template. I'm just going to eyeball. We'll go ahead and utilize this one. And I do have another 2x4 here. So we will come over here like that. You can see that ain't square. Alright, that's why I got my level. Yeah, let's start about there. I don't know if I have the right level. Where is the level? Oh, well, it's right here, man. Whamma whamma, Black Betty. Whamma whamma, Black Betty. You can guess which song was playing before I paused it. Okay. Let's get level. Yeah-huh. Right there looks level. And it looks pretty centered. That looks level. Well, you just moved it, Slick, and we're just going to have to hope that's level, okay? Because I ain't got the small level in here. You know, the nice thing is, by the time this project is done, most of my tools will already be in here, because I'm using them. All right, well, I'm going to eyeball it with this because that's going to be there. And I'm just going to, well, now, wait a minute. If I cut it there, oh yeah, we have to utilize that. So, because it's going to rest on this. So, that's good. But I want to have enough space over here to get a 2x4 in there, and we do. So, actually, I think it can come over some. And it'll still look centered. Oh, yeah. All right, so, yeah, we can come all the way over. That way I can toenail that into there. And then, yeah, we'll just mark this and this and this. So that's where it'll be. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to attach a 2x4 here, one here, and one down here. So when we slip the fan in, it should just overhang just a little bit outside, which is what we want, I think. And I got silicone, so I'm going to drill 4 holes. I'm going to get probably my Sawzall or something and cut that out. All right, hopefully it goes well. This is a one-shot thing. It's off. I'm kind of going by that, and I need to go by the center of the peak there, and it's dead on. I mean, hell, this ain't no show shop, okay? Well, we all know by the time I'm done, it's gonna be a show shop. Get on out of here, you. All right, so now I need to measure this, do all that cutting, get that framed out, and I'll come back. It's gonna work out, man. Don't worry about you in the blue chair. I got an assignment for you. Now, I took all that stuff to the dump. the sheetrock and everything that I had, the insulation. Took it to the dump yesterday, and guess what I found in the bottom of the truck? My reading glasses. I went and had to buy these $14 because Ollie's don't open till 10 in the morning, and well, I was in Fort Smith way too early, so I ended up buying these at Dollar General. I about crapped when she said $14.99 for reading glasses. I ain't never. So your duty is, you in the blue chair, the blue recliner, keep an eye on these, okay? The whole video. If they disappear, it's on you. You're to tell me at what timestamp to go find them. That's your job, blue chair. Okay, I need 2 at 19. These were like the corner braces they had in the corners when they transport. They want us to shore it up a little bit. You know, you got 2 sawhorses here and you're using these, yeah, man. I always use my square. That way it guides me, gets a nice straight cut. Getting straighter than that, man. I just wish I had a pencil instead of this thick marker. Alright, 2 at 19. Hey 19. About everything I say today strikes up a song. I tell you, there's some certain things I don't want a song to strike up, but I bet it will. And then I just use my thing there. 19, man. You think I got enough to get another 19 out of it? By gosh, I don't. Alright, that means I gotta find another one. I hate to cut a big 8-footer. Let me go see what I got. Let's see how I can get this up here. You know, somebody made a comment and I was laughing. They said, you know, when you start acting or talking silly, that's when I click off. You know what I think of that? Hey, there went my nicotine pouch. Damn that guy, he cost me money. Well, this is going to be a problem. Should be enough to fit in there. And, you know, I got stuff. There we go. I need a hammer. Okay? Hammer time. Hammer time. Where's my hammer? See, man, it's one of them days. Everything I say turns into a song. All right, I'm still here, but I'm walking around looking for my hammer, and, well, there it is. See? Excellent. I found it. There is a 1.5 inch gap back there, so if you're wondering. I know, not the best camera angle I could probably. Don't you fall. I could probably go get a head thing, but that's what I want to see. Man, that is exactly where I want it. All right, now let's see if we can do the same thing. Well, this is working just wonderfully. That's about what we want right there. Because this has to be cut out. I should have cut that out first. It's alright, I got a Sawzall. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and toenail them dudes in. I don't need to, I can drive one right there. Make sure I ain't got no cord down in there. Nope. You ain't going nowhere, no how, no way. Oh, I'm glad I invested in this. Well, you didn't go in all the way. I just happen to have a hammer. Alright, and because this is going to have some vibration. Oh yeah, should have put it on the outside, dummy. Now that moved. I think I can beat it over. Yeah. The only thing is, sometimes they don't go in all the way. Like that. Sure don't. I need to drive one up yonder. I gotta adjust that. Adjust that so it'll go in further. I think that's good for that. I haven't used that very much already. All right. I just don't want any nails protruding here because it's got to slip in. That's good enough. All right, we got good. It's good there. Now I need to cut one across. I won't film that. We'll get that up and then cut the hole, slap the fan in, or cool. Literally, cool. You're talking silly again. That guy's already clicked off, man. He's already clicked off. All right, I'm going to take that plug that I put together earlier, and the reason I make it like this is so I can test things out. So this is my exhaust fan. So we're just going to twist the two blacks together and get coordinated here using these big red wing nuts, wire nuts. You want to twist it till you see it braid. I'm going to put this one together. Then all we got to do, plug this dude in and give it a test. I'll grab the camera and I'll take you up there and show you everything about this fan. Now I ain't being sponsored by this fan, it's just something I bought off Amazon. So I ain't making nothing. So you don't have to say, hey, he's doing an ad. No, I'm not doing an ad. Just the product I'm using. You and the blue recliner. Always got to be somebody complaining about something around here. All right, let me get these grounds together. All right, that should be good. Now, there's nothing exposed here that could hit anything. I didn't strip my wires far enough where it's going to hit none. Now, if you're not comfortable around electricity, I don't recommend this. Before the solar generators, we wouldn't have been able to do it this way. But you can kind of say that I'm paving a new road with testing out electricity here with the solar generators. All right. We can go ahead and plug this in. Let me get my tester and make sure that this outlet is right, which I know it is. I just know it is because let me go ahead and unplug that, because if I somehow did not do it right, I'll turn you. If I didn't do it right, I don't want to blow up this thing. All right, let's plug this in, and then we'll plug that in, and then we should have juice, man. Juice. Green light there, that's good. And what's that say? Open ground. Why would there be an open ground? Open ground. Maybe it's because of that thing. Don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna test it anyway. Shouldn't, but I will. It's working for the lights. All right, that plugs in there. And ain't squat happening, man. Got a red light. I don't know what that means. That's on. I didn't read the instructions. Well, I don't understand what's going on here. Let me pull that off. I obviously did something wrong. I'll edit this part out for sure. Yeah, I made a mistake. All right, everything's wired correctly. I'm going to say that it's saying open ground because of this solar thing. So maybe it's not a good idea, but I mean, it's working. Let's plug this fan in directly. See, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the juice. Oh, yeah. Well, how come the louvers ain't open? There they go. They're just opening slowly. I don't know, man. Are the louvers open? Something ain't working. Oh, maybe it's because I don't have that one thing plugged in. I don't know. I should blow the louvers open. Maybe it just... I don't know. Yeah, let's go out and see. I mean, it's working. But I would think them louvers... it's probably on low because I don't have that thing, but that thing didn't work. Maybe it has to, it's a thermostat, so maybe it had to sit for a while before it came on. Oh yeah, they're open, but not much. That bottom one ain't open. Maybe I probably got that thing in too tight, is what's wrong. Yeah, all right, well, trial and error, trial and error. Let me get the big ladder, see if I can force it open. There we go. Well, you know, it didn't say in the instructions that they taped those shut. Of course, I probably should have read the instructions, huh? I don't read instructions. I find things out the hard daggum way. Oh, yeah. All right, let's hook that thermostat thing back up. Ah, that was my shin. Yeah, All right, now let's unplug that, plug that thermostat thing in, which may not work because I got open ground. Oh, yeah. I can feel warm air right here coming past me. All right, let's unplug this doohickey. Plug this doohickey in. Set that dude all the way to 40. That's probably what it was. I had the thermostat set to. Okay. I'll just give that a second. I got it on. Here it goes. Okay. Yeah, I had that thing set all the way to like 108. All right, guys. So these are cool. You can set this, let me get my glasses. You can set this temperature, so up here you can get away with probably 85 or something, 80. So it ain't running all the time. Okay, so that's about 65. And then I guess when it reaches 65, it's going to shut off. And then you can adjust the speed. We're going to leave it on high, but man, that is a cool thing. All right, I'm going to put the cover back on this outlet. I'm going to research this open ground thing, so I don't like telling you guys, oh, you can make these plugs and run them off a Jackery if it's dangerous. Now, I'm going to assume that it's because this unit is not grounded. I'm not an electrician, but I'm going to assume it's because the Jackery is not grounded. I have no idea. All I know is I've been running these lights off of it, and I ain't had no problem. Yeah, it's down to 13%. So it's pulling 500 watts total. I've got all the lights on. I don't need any of them on right now. We'll just leave that one on. I didn't realize I had all these lights on. Okay, well. Oh, this is going to be nice. I can feel The air, I can feel it pulling the air from the doors. Wow, I mean, we just got a nice, it's cooled down already. And listen, I mean, this thing is super, super quiet. So I will put the other one probably in the cat house over there. But I'll just make sure it's in a place even if they got up there, yeah, I don't want to mess them with it. Put a cage or something around it, but I don't think there's much they can do other than chew through the cord. But I'll make sure they don't have access to that if I use it in there. But otherwise, I got a spare. So there's that. All right. I guess we'll call this a day. So we got some insulation up. Now I have finished all of the electrical. It's all done. Well, as far as wiring outlets, now I got to put in the plugs itself. We got that up there today. That's going to be a massive help. But that thing's needs charged. Now one day, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to set up some solar panels out here. I ordered a 50-foot, what do they call them, M3/6 cord, MC4 cord or whatever, because it has to set out there a ways because the sun's that way, and not today. So it looks like there's smoke. Almost looks like smoke. So all right, man, we're going to end it here. And if I do anything else today, you can always go to the Dogman video later, and I update on there. So thanks for watching. Happy trails.